G'day, Professor Joseph Drew here from the University of Technology, Sydney. I'm here now to give you the results of the community survey I did, which followed the community forum. Now, I personally believe that the voices that are most worth hearing are the voices of people who have gone and got the facts. And the people at the community forum were given the facts. I talked for about an hour. At Cootamundra, there was about an hour's worth of questions as well. They availed themselves of all the facts. Then they made their decision. And what I'm here to do now is to present you with what these decisions were. I personally think that the decision should be made by the community. I know, we all know, that had the decision been made last time, we wouldn't be in this terrible situation that we're in at present. Now, the decision that faces you right now is not a perfect one. There's risks, there's costs involved in de-amalgamation. But I've made it quite clear that my view is the best way forward for the community is to de-amalgamate. But you know what? My view is not anywhere near as important as your view. Your views should be the ones that are given preference, and particularly the views expressed in these surveys, because these are people who have been presented with evidence, who have thought about it, who have talked about it, asked very intelligent and astute questions about it. These are the views of these people, and I think that these are the views that we must give the most weight to in our decision making. So I'll go through what Cootamundra said first, and then we'll go through what Gundagai said. So were you in favour of the 2016 amalgamation? Clearly, the far majority of Cootamundra people that turned up, and I think that's a representative community of the representatives sample of the community. It's certainly very representative of the community who have gone to the trouble to avail themselves of the facts. And it's quite clear that most of those people weren't in favour of the amalgamation. This is something that's very important for everyone to remember. Gundagai people feel that they were the victims of what happened in 2016, and I agree with them. But Cootamundra were every bit as much innocent victims of 2016 as what the Gundagai people were. The Cootamundra people had a good plan. They did what the government said. They went and got themselves a partner in Harden. They put a lot of work, a lot of effort into it, and then they were ignored. I'm determined you're not going to be ignored this time. But the Cootamundra people had the rug pulled from underneath them, and in some respects they are more victims of the situation than what Gundagai were. So most people were not in favour of 2016. 6 were in favour of it, and 5 were undecided. The next question is, do you think a de-amalgamation will save money? Now, I gave you quite precise data during the forum. I've gone to a lot of trouble to research it. I understand some people won't believe financial projections, because we saw how absolutely ridiculous the financial projections were last time. I can assure you that if people follow my plan, these things will come to pass. You will save at least $2.4 million over 10 years, probably much, much more. But I understand that some people won't believe me. That's okay. It's your voice that's important, not mine. So 12 people don't think that de-amalgamation will save money, and 4 are undecided. 54 believe that it will save money. But this is where it gets really interesting. Those people who don't think it will save money clearly still think that the best bet is for us to de-amalgamate. This is the question to Cootamundra. Are you in favour of de-amalgamation? And the overwhelming majority, 64 out of the 69 responses for this particular question, say that they're in favour of de-amalgamation. 3 people aren't. There will be always a minority that aren't in favour, and that they have a right to be heard just as much as everyone else, and I want them to be heard just as much as everyone else. And 2 people are still undecided. Now, the full Boundaries Commission report will be on the Council's website, hopefully Monday or Tuesday next week. When you get it, you can read all 60-odd pages of it. You'll get more information. I think a lot of these undecided people will be able to make up their mind then. But as I said, the really interesting thing for me is that a lot of people aren't basing this decision. You see it in the comments. I read the comments on every single one of those surveys returned. And it's quite clear from the comments that it's not just about money. The money's important because that's what the legislation says one of the principal decision-making criteria should be for the Boundaries Commission. But for you guys, it's not the most important thing. Some of you don't think de-amalgamation will save money, but clearly those same people think that you should still be, nevertheless, de-amalgamated. And a lot of people have written things about the friction it's causing in the community, the uncertainty, the unhappiness, the problems with council culture, the problem with this new mega council just being too big and complex a beast for people to wrap their heads around. And they're all valid comments, and I agree with a lot of them. Okay, let's see what Gundagai people said. Were you in favour of the 2016 amalgamation? 253 said no, 4 said yes, 3 were undecided at the time. Fine. It's pretty clear, and it was pretty clear if you read the Boundary Commission Delegate Report from 2016, that the community never wanted to be amalgamated. The Boundary Commission Delegate made some ridiculous and ludicrous comments in his report. To any reasonable person who was looking at the evidence in front of them, a sophisticated survey done by an independent survey company, there was no doubt for any reasonable person that Gundagai never wanted to be amalgamated. Unfortunately, it seems like our Boundaries Commission delegate at the time, who are not the people making decisions now, wasn't a reasonable person. So, people in the Gundagai didn't want to be amalgamated. No surprise there. Do they think the de-amalgamation will save money? Once again, despite laying out quite detailed evidence and showing you how my projections are very conservative, I'm giving you the worst case scenario, there's still a group of people who believe it's not going to save money. Some haven't made up their mind. Fair enough. Most people think it is. And once again we see here to the answers in the question, are you in favour of a de-amalgamation? The far majority of people want to see a de-amalgamation. Those people who didn't believe that de-amalgamation will save money are still telling me they want to see a de-amalgamation. And as I say, you go back, you read those comments. Those comments can be made to the freely available to the Boundaries Commission if they request them from us. It's quite clear that it's not about money. It's about identity. It's about political voice. It's about the social cohesion or lack of social cohesion these days. It's about a lot of the criteria in the legislation. It's not all about the money, this de-amalgamation proposal. So, look, in sum, it's perfectly obvious to me what the people who have been informed, who have been given all the evidence, what they want. They want a de-amalgamation. Now, whether or not they listen to really depends on whether our Boundaries Commission and our politicians making the decisions are in the mould of Plato here, in the red, or in the mould of Aristotle here in the blue. Plato, in his famous work, The Republic, said that, democracy is mob rule, that the average person doesn't have the competence, doesn't have the ability to make good decisions, and they need to be ruled by their betters. In fact, Plato said you needed to be ruled by philosopher kings because you were incapable of ruling yourself. Now, I don't agree with Plato. I'm with Aristotle over here. Aristotle said the best people to make decisions are the people affected by those decisions. He believed that intelligent adults, given reasonable information, could make good decisions about their lives and a whole heap of different things and come up with good outcomes. That was also the position of probably the most famous political scientist of the last century, Robert Dahl. That's my position. The people I talk to ask some perfectly reasonable questions, very intelligent people, obviously given this a lot of thought. I have absolute faith in the ability of those people to make good decisions, and I just hope that we do the right thing. We don't believe in Plato, we believe in Aristotle, and we listen to you this time. Thank you very much for your time.